And we should be just about underway. Here we go. Let's see what starting routes they take.
Yeah, look at that. Right off the bat, prieR's the only one who starts in Link's house. Everybody else is in the sanctuary.
Yep, prieR looks like he's going to go up to Hyrule Castle, visit the uncle. See if the other three, if any of them go try to set up the Houlihan room, get some money early on. And looks like just OPTLawyer.
So I prefer the route that prieR starts on, because if you do get something great out of that tree pull, like he just did, 4 bombs, he gets to do it again on his way up to the Lost Woods.
Yeah, I think everybody's going to have a bunch of success, even though they all took different routes. OPT is going to have money, and everybody else is going to have a handful of bombs. I mean, this is kind of the start we wanted here. Let them make decisions.
We see nothing is stuck behind Lumberjack, just 20 rupees, so check off 1 box for Aga being required. Or not required, I should say.
And we got 2 people making it through the forest right now. Let's see what we find over here. And there's our first sword of the game.
That early sword is always nice.
That is a thing of beauty right there for the runners.
So some things we'd like to see before we get all the way through the village. We'd like to see a bottle if we could. We'd like to see 100 rupees. We'll see if those can happen once we get down to the well and into Blind's hut.
And from the well already, we have another sword. So these guys are all going to be on Master Sword pretty quick. And it looks like we're going to check a Blind's hut now, see what's in there. Not looking too eventful so far. Looks like we just got money and bombs. Maybe the back will be holding out on us.
There's our first key, and it's the one that nobody really wants, Ice Palace. I suppose 1 is good, but any more than that, you're probably just wasting time opening that chest.
Yeah, the 1 lets you take a little bit quicker route through Ice Palace. You get to skip a bomb jump or a hook shot room, depending on which way you go and what you have when you get there. But yeah, the keys for Ice Palace really aren't that necessary. I'm going to assume all our runners here know all the bomb jumps through there.
So OPT decided to go into Hyrule Castle early, which is a bit of a surprise to me. Usually we see people wait a little bit for this. We'll see if it pays off for him.
Yep. In the meantime, we got Devio and Arboretic. They're both in Kakariko Well. They both got a big key to Misery Mire and the Moon Pearl, which is going to be really useful later on. And it looks like they've also picked up the Power Gloves in there. And we're checking the Chicken Shack now. OPTLawyer picking up a big key to Ganon's Tower. That's really nice to find early.
How about that?
Can't tell you how many times that thing's evaded me. And chat's going to be all missing out. There's going to be no double dip at Ganon's Tower. These guys all have the Master Sword at the start. I'm sure the runners are loving it, though.
So a quick check shows that all 4 of these runners are 1-0 facing off. So we're gonna get to see a couple of good matches, hopefully.
Ooh, and the library's got a big key up on the shelf. Wonder if we're going to need the boots to get that thing out. looks like we're about to see the race game here from Devio.
I believe he's doing this blind, so he's going to find out as soon as we do that it is the Cane of Somaria.
A lot of good early finds going on here today.
So is that a level 2 pull from OPT that he just got? Rupees, it looked like, green rupees, so he missed out on that bomb pull.
Did he take damage on the way up there? Or did he get the level 2 pull?
That's a good question. I'm not sure. I suppose that might have been level 3, but the level 1 we saw was bombs, right?
Yeah, level 1's definitely bombs. And we're about to see what's in the Hyrule Dam here. Okay, yeah, OPT got that after doing escape, so he definitely took damage. And we've got 3 out of 4 runners with a Master Sword right now. Amazing.
Yeah, it sure is a stark difference from some of those races we saw earlier where it was people were hunting for a sword for go mode to get to be able to damage Ganon. So it's really nice to have that Master Sword early, so you don't have to worry about that.
Yep, Devio is about to head over to Mini Moldorm Cave, also known as Hype Cave in the Light World. Choosing bombs over a sword. Can't say I blame him, it's a little bit faster. Now I think everybody else is going back and checking what everybody else checked. We did get the big key to desert.
Oh, there's our lamp along with a small key to pod and the bow and a bottle. That might be the best Mini Moldorm Cave I've ever seen.
They are definitely going to blow this sea wide open here. The only thing a little bit concerning about that is now they're going to have Master Sword, they're going to have the Moon Pearl, they have the lamp, you know, a couple keys, they can go kill Aga.
They sure... Well, they need some Castle Tower keys, right?
Yeah,
So
a couple keys.
Their ascent. And that, who knows where those are, but yeah, if this were open, I would expect them to be running straight to Castle Tower.
Absolutely. It does open up that first room in Aga Tower, though. There could be something hiding up there that they really need.
The seed is absolutely screaming at them to go there, I'd say.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Oh, and a nice mail upgrade in Ice Rod Cave.
And these guys are getting it all early. You know, at the rate these guys are going, the typical old, let's see how many dungeons we don't have to double dip is going to change into, let's see how many dungeons we can go mode, just like it's an open seed.
Yeah, it might turn into that. Devio is doing fake flippers here. He found out that there's just cash up on the hilly island. So let's see what he finds up in the Zora area.
And we've got arboretic keys going in the back of escape. And there's our hammer. There's our Dark World access.
And Devio picks up a red pot from the Waterfall Fairy.
Kind of curious to see what Arboretic's doing here now. He might be going to Thieves Town.
So I don't know if you saw what it was on Zora's Ledge there, but I don't know if they're going to make the trek to get half magic. Let's see when they get flippers. That's going to be a decision that could make or break the seed for these guys.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a comfort level thing. Plus, if they have to go visit Catfish, it's going to be right there. You got boots, you got flippers. You might go over pick it up. We'll see what they do. I have a feeling it's going to get left there.
Prior with our first check on Sahasrala's cabin. We'll see if he gives a green pendant check for us. And Ice Palace is our green pendant today. But Sahasrala was not hiding anything from us.
And we're about to see our first look at the Dark World from Arboretic. Be interesting to see if he goes straight up into Skull Woods or if he goes down, check out around Thieves Town, get the first 4 out of there. And it looks like Skull Woods the play.
And meanwhile, his opponent prior is going to check out Dark World Hype Cave. We'll see if this is as good as the other one. Kiedemeyer is not a great start. So besides a little Zora money, that cave was a dud for us again.
Well, Arboretic's just picked up the Big Key to Turtle Rock, so we do have a little bit going on in Skull Woods. He's also got the Cape, too, so he can go over and check out Bumper Ledge.
That's nice timing for that. He can route that right in now before he goes into Village of Outcasts.
The other thing he's got going for him, too, he's already got the Cane of Samarias, so the Gibdo room is going to be a lot easier not having to push that statue over.
Prior's given us an early pyramid check. It's interesting how these 4 runners have chosen such different paths. Usually you don't see this much diversion after just 12 minutes.
Yeah, they do seem to be going all over the place today. But, yeah, like we said, they're going to blow it wide open, and we'll see them running everywhere. It's kind of interesting, though, that he went there first without the mirror. It's typically a play I like to make with the mirror. That way you can mirror right to Aga's tower and get at least the first item out of there and any other that you have keys for.
Yeah, that's a good point. I usually wait as long as I can to do pyramid just because it's such a long track, especially if you don't have the boots. But it looks like he's got this route just planned and he's checking Catfish now, and we'll see how this treats him. Get a bunch of stuff and start going into dungeons.
OPT's got to be a little bit careful. His health's getting low. One shot from those crabs and he's done. Looks like he's made it through successfully, though.
Yeah, that was close. Devio's given us our check on this entrance. What do we call this? Hyrule Castle Dark Room. And it was just a piece of heart.
Yeah, but it looks like prior just got a pod key out of Catfish. Arboretic looking at a small key right now in Bumper Cave, thinking about it. I think he's going to go up there and get it.
Devio's making the play to Aga Tower. He took that Death Warp and he's heading up to get that first item. Let's see if this pays off.
And OPT's heading over into the eastern area. He's going to visit Sashlahara.
We'll see if he actually dips into Eastern. I don't think any of the other runners did. And just a map of Skull Woods. That's a bit of a letdown for sure after this lead up of items we had heading to that chest.
Yeah, there's got to be some duds in there. Arboretic's got to look out. He's only got 1 heart left. Heading into Dark Kakriko.
The old man just handed prieR a small key to pod. And let's see what arboretic pulls out of the C-shaped house here. Key to Castle Tower.
Yeah, that's going to make the mirror over from the pyramid play look even more attractive since you can get both items out of there now. prieR check Spectacle Rock, nothing inside there. So he's going to save and quit, start back over at Sanctuary, and probably head over to Dark World. OPT's going to dip Eastern now and see what's in there.
He's got 4 chests he can check here. Since he's got that lamp, they're all in logic. So we'll see if he can pull something out. While I assume arboretic is going to head into Thief Town after he does this chess game.
And OPT finding the lag meringue in the first chest over in Eastern.
I think prieR's doing our first Sickid check. I hadn't noticed one before now. And it's just 20 rupees.
He's faking it. He's not really sick.
It would be really nice if arboretic could get through these 4 chests without taking any damage. He's being a little careful here just to make sure he gets through it. And then he'll probably take the Death Orb.
Does sound like the good play to make. prieR's already up to 3 pod keys. 1 more and he can clear everything in there. With just the 3, he can get all the items except for the big chest, assuming he knows Hammer Jump. Would be a long trip without the mirror, though, because that's quite a few trips up the right-hand side just to get all those chests.
Arboretic just pulled the Cane of Brian, which I always like to have before I fight blind. I mean, he doesn't have the big key, so he can't do that anyway, but it's still a nice item to find. And then he Death Warp so he can get to the front of the dungeon and move on, probably to go to do Dig Game.
Yeah, he'll likely do Dig Game, get the tree guy, and then head over to the actual hype cave, which we saw already wasn't too hype. And Devio's joined OPT over in Eastern. See if they find anything, nothing too eventful yet.
Stumpy just handing out cash today. OPTLawyer finish job Eastern with the big key to pod. That is a nice find.
That's going to be a nice play for prieR later if he comes across the mirror. Be able to go over there, grab that big key. We'll be able to just about clear the place out. And I missed. Arboretic just checked to what the 5 and 6 was. I saw Misery Mire, and I didn't see what the first one was.
OPTLawyer getting his Dark World access. So now everybody's about on the same footing as to where they can go. We'll see who takes advantage of it the best.
Yeah, it looks like everybody's catching up with everybody else on all their crazy routes they got to take. Where do you think the next progression we're going to find is going to be?
Where haven't we been? There's not too many places left on this map. Where do we go? We don't have the mirror. We don't have the hook shot.
Yeah, I mean, it almost seems to me like there could be something in pod.
Yeah, that's got to be the play. Is that the only place they can go? I cannot come up with anything else right now.
Yeah, pod's all I can think of. So there's got to be something over there. The hook shot, the mirror. Mirror would be really nice to find over there.
A mirror would be great. That would either the mirror or hookshot gives us Death Mountain access. So those would certainly be two handy items to find. OPTLawyer is going to give us that check that we missed. So it's Pod and Misery Mire are the two red crystals that we need to find to earn before we can do the Pyramid Fairy.
That may give him more incentive just to go over to pod.
With the amount of pod keys that prieR has, I'd be surprised if he's not there as soon as he clears out these first 4 chests in Thieves Town.
Yeah, between that and running out of spots to go, that'd be the place to go. Nice and concentrated area, a whole bunch of chests you can grab. Like I said, a little bit clunky because no mirror, but he knows what he's doing. He can get through it. And even nicer, they won't have to do the maze in the dark because they all have the lamp. And OPT kind of faked me out there. I thought for a second maybe he was going to dip down into pod, but made his way up toward Catfish, decided against it, and going to start over.
Yeah, I wonder where he's going. Maybe he'll make his way up to Death Mountain and check those couple locations. I don't know if he's done that.
I think prieR's the only one I've seen go up there. Even going up there just to get the save spot's always a good thing.
I agree. Especially when you don't have the flute.
We will be seeing that flute eventually, though, with Misery Mire being a 5/6 crystal. Yeah, it's looking right now like something's going to be over in pod. It's going to send them up to Death Mountain. They're going to get over the far side, find the mitts, clean that thing out, and get all stocked up on items up there.
Yeah, at this point, they absolutely have to find something in the first couple chests of pod. Because they don't have all the keys, so they can't do all the chests in pod, and I don't really know how the logic works, but I know the logic doesn't make you choose a 50-50 to find a progression item. So it's going to be one of those first few chests.
Yeah, definitely. It'll be either the first one over on the left or one of the ones through the very first door. They also have the bow, so it could be over on the bow side as well.
It sure could. Devio just gave us a little check. We've got blue crystals at both Skullwoods and Thieves Town.
So that's kind of narrowing down where the pendants can be. We know it's not pod, and we know Ice Palace is a pendant. So it could be Eastern, Tower Hera, Swamp, and Turtle Rock.
So one other location that we didn't think of was Zora. We have not seen a Zora check yet. That absolutely could be our progression that we need. We are not at a small amount of rupees on most of our runners, but only OPTLawyer has enough for Zora. So hopefully we won't have to see some farming.
Yeah, we've still always got the option of doing a Houlihan room. That setup's going to be the same because they haven't found the flippers. They could do that right out of Sanctuary.
And it looks like Arboretic is making the play to pod. We're going to get some answers real quick.
And it looks like prieR's going up Aga Tower. No, he's going to do escape.
Yeah, and I was also wrong. Arboretic's going to go to Eastern, it looks like.
Well, over here he's going to find the big key to pod, so maybe that'll kind of nudge him in the direction of pod.
I just feel like pod is one of those dungeons in Keysanity that you know you're going to double dip. So once you get 2 or 3 keys, you might just want to head there.
Yeah, I mean, there's 6 keys you're going to find all over the world. You don't know where they're going to be. You just know you're going to run across 6 of them. You might as well go in and get at least half the stuff out of there. The other bonus of the early check, too, is should you come across go mode before you check the back of pod, you get to skip all that and just run straight to the boss next time you come in there.
For anybody who's not familiar with this dungeon, OPTLawyer just tried to pick up a full magic refill and it wasn't there. So there's this little bombable room that you can go in and you pick up a full magic, and there was nothing under the pot. He's probably just as confused as I am right now. I was trying to show you what good things you can do in Skullwoods, and nothing came of it.
And it's funny, too, because Devio did the same exact thing, and he did get the full magic. And it looks like prieR's setting up a death warp, so I think he might be going up Aga Tower after he does this. It's either that or he's going to check the middle.
So OPTLawyer has almost no magic. He needs to use the cape right here. I sure hope he gets through this. I mean, he's got enough. But that was really bad. I don't know. I've never heard of that glitch before. I wonder if this is a known thing that happens or what.
I've had it happen to me once. I have no idea what caused it. And right there where OPT was going through the cave, and just in case you ever run into that and you don't have the hook shot, as long as you don't push up while you're trying to go over and grab that block right next to the pit, or you're trying to grab that skull next to the pit, you won't fall into the pit. If you push up, you're going down into that pit.
That's some great advice. I might need to use it tomorrow. I feel like I fall down that pit 50% of the time, and it's probably exactly that reason.
That's one of those things I kind of learned the hard way.
So does prieR have Castle Tower key? Is he going to make it further than the other runners who went to Aga Tower?
No, it doesn't look like he has a Castle Tower key. So he's just going to get this first item out of here. He was right here checking everything else in Hyrule, so it's not too much of a time sink for him. Oh, he does have a key. Never mind.
So with the lamp and this key, gets us just a piece of heart. So arboretic started at Sanctuary. I don't know what this means. Potentially going up Death Mountain?
It would almost have to be a Death Mountain play, and I'm not no, he's going over to the village.
Oh, he's probably turning in the bottle to Sick Kid. I don't think we've seen that out of him yet.
Get down there and get his disappointment with a big 20. prieR might be making the pod play. We might see it.
Yep, that definitely seems to be what this is, and I'm pretty certain this is the play that needs to be made in this game. prieR's our first one to do it, and we'll see how rich he is after this.
This has got to pay off because there isn't much else we haven't checked. I know nobody's gone over to Agina's cave yet, but odds of something being over there pretty low.
It looks like Arboretic is just behind, making that play over to pod right now.
And it looks like OPTLawyer failed the death warp with a fairy.
Oh man, I hate that when that happens. It's you don't think about what's in your pots, and you die thinking, yeah, this is great, I'm going to save a bunch of time, and then not only do you waste time, but you waste your fairy.
Yeah, that's got to be one of the worst feelings. A vanilla small key in pod for prieR. Now he's got 4 keys. If he finds the mirror, can make it over to Eastern and get the big key, he can complete this dungeon with a hammer jump.
He's got all 6 keys now to pod. He can full clear this.
He does. He can take any route he wants then.
And he finds the red mail, which doesn't help us. But with all those keys, he's going to find something good.
Yeah, Arboretic's not going to pod. It looks like he's going up to Catfish.
So another empty chest for prieR. Just found another map to Misery Mire, which we already know is a 5/6 crystal. So I think this one, I was going to say that one's going to be our ticket out, but no, just the single ruby. So we've still got a few that we can check quickly before having to go to the backup pod.
I was kind of wondering what he was doing there. He's going back down. He's going to do the bow side now.
Yeah, he faked me out. I think he forgot he had the bow. But this is good. He's going to full clear this. This is going to be our first dungeon done. Pod. Who'd have thought?
Yeah, that's not often this is the first dungeon done, ever. Let's see if we can pull some progression out of these chests right here. And that heart piece doesn't look like much. And the Quake medallion.
Quake doesn't help us now, but it definitely could be crucial later on.
Looks like OPT's making his way into the middle of escape. Devio might be going to pod. No, he's going to the pyramid. Arboretic is going to pod, though. He's going to be happy with this play.
So we're about 34 minutes in. Our runners are pretty much out of options that aren't pod. But nobody's in the clear lead, that's for sure. prieR's a little bit ahead, it seems. His routing is just maybe a little bit quicker. I don't think he forgot anything.
Ooh, Arboretic lost Kiki.
We are running out of options in pod, running out of chances, but something will be here.
Watch it end up being Moldorm holding the item. He just picked up a hoard of rupees. That'll get him some Zora money right there. And Bombos.
So he's got these 3 chests in the Dark Maze and the boss. So at this point, Agana and Zora are starting to look like solid choices also. We thought for sure these 14 chests in pod would have to be the answer, but they are running out of options. There's the book, so at least we got somewhere.
Yeah, and at least the book's going to send him over to Agana's direction. I don't think he has the big key for pod because he just saved and quit out of there.
So he's gonna book it straight to desert, pardon the pun, and we'll see if he goes to Agana first.
He's got the big key for desert. He's got no boots though. Does have a fire source, so he can complete the dungeon. He just won't be able to get the item off the torch or the 2 items in the right side. So he's only able to get half the items. Hopefully there's something good over here though.
So that makes 3 plus these Agana's Cave and on the ledge, so there's 5 items over here. We'll see. One of them likely give progression. If not, it is the Zora play, I believe.
It could still be Helmasaur, because the
Yeah,
big key to pod is accessible. And a useless key to Ganon's Tower, hiding in Agana.
So they do have that small key to desert, so that does add 2 more chests for us to check.
Oh yeah, that will help.
It helps throughout this dungeon a little faster, and it just saves this trip. They won't have to come back unless that torch has something important.
It's always possible they find boots in here and they can get that torch now.
So looking ahead to this Landmo fight that we are probably going to see, I think. Do they have the big key? Yes, they do. What weapon are they going to use? Are we going to see bow strats? Are we going to see hammer strats? I think they could use Somaria. I've seen that before.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see a bunch of spinning and some hammering on the side.
Arboretic looks like he's setting up the hammer jump here on the bridge, but I believe he has all the keys. So it would save a little bit of time if he could pull it off, but I think you got to get it on your first or second try to save any time. There's a small key on the desert torch. They're probably going to have to come back here to figure out what that is.
Hopefully it's one of those that we don't need. And there's the mirror. There's a nice item. It's going to get him over to Eastern Death Mountain. Let him get all 8 items over there. And they'll be able to get in Tower Hera. Check Ether Tablet while they're up there. It's always a good thing to have.
Yeah, that just unlocked a whole bunch of the world.
And we are going to find out what weapon he's going to use, because he is going to go try and complete this dungeon.
Did he check the ledge? I didn't see it.
I didn't see him do a ledge check either. He might be doing that on his way out. I hope. I hope he doesn't forget anything there.
Devio takes the Death Warp and then is heading towards Helmasaur, I believe. Although he's missing a couple chests. I don't know which ones he missed. Oh, these ones here.
Yeah, he'll probably grab these and head to the boss. He does have the big key, so he'll be able to complete this dungeon. I think Arboretic's going to try to pick up these last 2 chests and then Death Warp.
So prieR starting out with the bow strats, and immediately changes to hammer after the first phase. Whoa. This is not a fight that I envy. This is... It's tough, because you know you can do this fight quickly if you just have the right items. And every time you have to wait for them to dig out, it just might send you on tilt.
Yeah, this is one of those times when all the NMG players are really going to succeed. The ones that play the no major glitches vanilla game. This boss, you end up getting there with just the fighter sword, just the bow, and it's, you know, it's one of the places they can lose a lot of time. So you'll see a lot of NMG players completely take that fight to a new level.
And all he gets out of it is an arrow upgrade and a blue pendant. So that fight is not worth it. Well, until we see the pedestal.
Very, very true. We do know there's only one more pendant. If you had to pick where that pendant went, where would you pick?
Oh, what haven't we seen? I suppose where would I want it to be? I suppose I'd want it to be Turtle Rock, but I guess that's only. I guess it could also be Swamp. So it's 2 of the longer dungeons are in question still. So well, let's hope it's those.
Yeah, either one, it'd be kind of good to see the pendant there. The only problem is, if there's something in progression just because there's so many chests in there, it's probably going to be a while before they go in.
It's true, but the thing about Turtle Rock is that you can get all the way to the back, you can do Laser Bridge, and then not have that key, and it only leaves 1, maybe 2 if you miss the vanilla big key location. But you can still do most of it without having to have Ice Rod and Fire Rod and everything else that you need to complete that dungeon.
And we are going to get a look at Tower of Hera. Should be able to get 2 items out of here. I don't think we have any keys for it.
I agree. There's a powder. That's nice to have. So we've got red mail and powder, so we're pretty good off for safety.
And just the map of Ganon's Tower. Absolutely useless for us. Let's see what's over on the right side of Death Mountain.
Devio trying to land those arrows onto Helmasaur. There, he got him to stand still for a second so he could pelt him 4 times.
Yep, very nice fight from Devio. Arboretic just about to finish up the same fight.
For the mitts. Oh, those
that
are so
is
nice
huge.
to have going up Death Mountain. That is such a giant advantage.
It's going to be a big advantage for both of those going up to Death Mountain. They're going to be able to clear out everything up there on their first trip. The book is going to send them over to Desert. They're going to pick up the mirror from over there. They can mirror back and forth, get everything they need. They can get the item off the island if they need to. Yeah, they're good to go. And they've got the cape. They can do Spike Cave too.
Wow, where was that pod big key? I do not remember, but prieR missing that might cost him a handful of minutes.
That was in Eastern Palace, where the big key normally is.
So did you notice that routing from Arboretic? Took out Helmasaur, and now is doing... I'm confused, because these walls have already been busted open with bombs. So I don't know what 2 chests we're missing.
It's got to be the two over here on the bow side.
Maybe he took a
And
death in this
yeah,
room.
I think he took a few deaths just trying to death warp out.
Oh, that chest was taken.
And it looks like prieR skipped Spiral Cave as well.
No, I believe he went through it, but I did not see what he got out of there.
He just saved and quit out of Paradox Cave, I thought. He might be going... It looks like he's going over here to check Bombo's tablet and probably the... What is it? South of Grove Ledge. The one everybody knows is Cave 45.
Yeah, Cave 45, yep. And we know he needs to head into Eastern to get those mitts. Well, to get the big key to pod to then get the mitt.
Yep, pod was definitely holding the progression item. It just wasn't where prieR could get it.
So neither of our tablets had anything of use today, so that book was a bit of a herring, although it did lead to the mirror.
Yeah, I'm sure all the players are going to be happy to find that mirror. And it looks like Arboretic's going to give us our first look at Dark Death Mountain. Might take him a few minutes to get there. He's probably going to go check Hera along the way. But he's got the mitts, he's got the mirror, he's got everything he needs up there. Hook shot. No, he doesn't have the hook shot. So
But
hopefully
prieR does. He just picked it up from Cave 45.
Wow. So that kind of throws a fork into things right there. So everybody else is going to have less reason to go back up Death Mountain. But if prieR does go back up Death Mountain, he's at least got the hook shot, and he's got a little more reason to go there.
What does that hook shot get him right now? Not much.
No, because really the only progression is in Swamp Palace, and he doesn't have the flippers.
Right, no flippers and no keys to swamp. So we're getting a magic bat check. And it's just a full heart container. So what's next for prieR?
Hopefully he goes over to Eastern next. He needs to make his way over there.
Yeah, he does. So Devio's just taking slashes. I think everybody's going to do something a little bit differently here.
Yeah, that's definitely not a pleasant fight. Not one I would look forward to doing.
Spike Cave was a bust. It just gave us a piece of heart. But Devio got through it, gets his arrow upgrade, and that pendant. So prieR looks like he's going into the Dark World, but I don't know why. Maybe he's going to check Graveyard Ledge? Nope, he's heading north.
It's possible. Yeah, he might not have checked Skull Woods the first time through. He might be going there and then route in Bumper Cave and Graveyard Ledge. OPT heading in to fight Helmsar, about to get his mitts. And we can see him here holding out the sword to extend the range of the hammer.
Arboretic is going to give us our first look at hammer pegs and potentially the lumberjack or the frog and purple chest maybe coming.
That's probably the play, and you'll probably end up getting the hookshot along the way. Yeah, that hammer trick on the boss, all you got to do is hold your sword out, use your hammer, and your hammer hitbox will be as big as the sword.
And it also gives you a little safety that if you get a little too close, your sword will hit the helmet and you'll bounce back instead of just getting hit. You'll just get knocked back a little bit.
Yeah, the only downside to it, which is why you might not see every top runner doing it, it does cause a little bit of extra lag, especially if you have the higher level swords. So you might see some people go in there and not hold the sword out. It looks like
prieR is making that play, so
yeah, he's going to be happy to find that pod key and might make his way back up Death Mountain because there's not a whole lot he can do. I mean, he can do hammer pegs in the blacksmith sequence, but
no, he can't do those yet until he beats Pod to get those mitts.
right. I'm sure he'll go right into Pod after this.
So Arboretic, I didn't notice, hadn't gone to Desert yet, so they did not have their mirror when they did the pegs and blacksmith. So they're missing out on Cave 45.
That's going to be pretty painful because that's a hard location to go back and check. Did you catch that item on the floating island?
I did not. I missed it.
It is. It's silvers. Silvers up on the floating island.
Oh, no.
So Devio's going to be able to pick those up. It's going to be really nice to have for the Vitreous fight.
For sure. You know, unlike that half magic where these runners might skip that, I don't think any of them are going to skip silvers up on the floating island.
Yeah, if there's any reason they have to make a trip back up here, well, at least for prieR, if he has to make a trip back up here, he'll most likely pick him up. Especially if we don't find another sword, because Master Sword Ganon with no silvers, not a pleasant fight.
None of our runners have been to Hookshot Cave yet, so they'd be crazy not to pick those up, in my opinion.
And we might see one or two skip it if they get up there and they've already got go mode and they've already got, you know, tempered or butter sword.
So Devio's getting a first look at Super Bunny Cave, I believe.
That's where he's at.
And that was one of the rods. Was that Ice Rod? Yeah. So we don't know yet if that's required, but it's always nice to find it because it could literally be anywhere in the game. Except for behind Trinex.
And it's right next to Turtle Rock. And he's got the mirror. And the mitts. And the cane. And he's got a keyfer in there too.
Devio's going straight to get those silvers. No hesitation. Didn't even wait till he had the hook shot to get the other chests in the cave.
Yeah, I like this play. He's really gonna... That's gonna make things so much easier for him. Plus, like I said, if they don't find anything bigger than the Master Sword, that'll at least give him some confidence going in again, and his fight's going to be a little bit quicker.
For sure. Hopefully he'll give us a check on the Turtle Rock medallion. If he doesn't just enter it, of course.
Yeah, if I was him, I wouldn't be shy about going and entering if you could. You could pick up a few chests out of there, and you never know. Progression could be in Turtle Rock.
Yeah, with one key, they can get, what, at least the first 4 chests. Maybe a few more?
I think he's only going to be able to get 2 because he's missing the fire rod, so he won't be able to do the one room with like torches. And Arboretic just picked up his mare, so he's going to be happy with that.
So now it's just a waiting game to see how long it takes him to get that hook shot from K45.
Hopefully something drives him back there, because that's so far out of the way for everything else.
So Devio has the Bombos medallion, which is required for opening Turtle Rock. We'll see if he makes the play inside or not.
I really hope he goes in there. This would be a great thing to do. If he jumps in there and there's progression in here, that's going to give him quite a considerable lead, I would think.
So something that I just noticed that is a bit concerning. Why does Arboretic have neither of the medallions?
That's a good question.
Nope. They've got them both. Nope, they're just not on the tracker yet. So here's fight number 3 with land mullas. We'll see if we see a third strategy.
Seeing a lot of sword slashes. At least from Arboretic side right now. OPT's about to head in there too.
So we had prieR with the bow and quickly switched to hammer. Both Devio and Arboretic just went with the Master Sword. And OPT has hammer out and is going slashes mostly. And some hammers.
Yeah, the hammer hitbox is a little bit funny if you're using it in up and down fashion. But left and right, the hitbox gets really big, so wouldn't be surprised to see direction have a little bit to do with which weapon he picks. Plus the boss floating over top of the hammer like it just did makes it a little bit squirrely. Arboretic getting the job done, OPT getting it done, and they're both picking up their blue crystal.
Meanwhile, prieR picks up those mitts, which opens up Dark Death Mountain and maybe a couple other locations.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see him head up Dark Death Mountain right now, and with the hook shot, he's going to be able to open a couple locations we haven't seen yet. It looks like this is a good time to remind everybody, if you like what you're seeing, give all these runners a follow. They're doing a great job running this race. This tournament's 5 weeks long. Everybody's in it for the long haul. But yeah, jump on over to their channels, give them a follow. And don't forget the trackers either. Trackers have a tough job trying to keep all those items on the screen for us. And prieR's definitely giving us a Dark Death Mountain tour right now. So he's going to go pick up stuff out of Super Bunny Cave. Probably head over to Hookshot Cave. We'll see some new stuff over there.
Devio is gonna jump into the graveyard ledge, it seems, while PT and Arboretic are going to Hera.
Have we seen Graveyard Ledge yet?
I think we did, and I think it was just 3 bombs. But that might have been hammer pegs. Yeah, that was hammer pegs, maybe. Okay, so that was just a bomb upgrade. Either way, nobody's going to be picking that up.
Yeah, here we go with Hookshot Cave, and he gets the bug net. Swagging him is now in play.
Oh, and there's our boots.
What are those?
And our flippers.
It's the Hookshot Cave of fashionable footwear.
So
now
those flippers give us access to ice, right? We've got mitts, we've got bombos, we've got hammer, we've even got a key or two, 1 key, I think. So we can full clear Ice Palace, I believe. Maybe that's the next play from prieR.
That's the very next place I would go, would be ice. I mean, it's clearable. Sure, he doesn't have the big key, but you don't need the big key for Ice Palace with the bomb jumps. He's going to be able to get 7 items out of there. The green pendant will make it an 8th. And I can't tell you how many times I've gone into Ice Palace with bombos and ended up with a fire rod when I left.
It does seem to happen a whole bunch. Let's hope it's not on Cold Stare.
I agree with you 100% on that one. This may actually drive him over to Zora, too, being how it's a little bit quicker. Now that he's got the flippers, he should be able to go straight from his house, jump down on Hylia Island. Pendant Ice Palace isn't always something somebody's willing to do.
It sure isn't, but we're running out of locations.
Did we see what was on the island in Lake Hylia?
I believe it was 50 rupees.
That it was, and prieR's got him now, and he's going to check Hobo. And Arboretic's going to clear up Paradox Cave here.
So we've done everything we can in Eastern. We've done everything we can in Hera. Swamp only has 1 chest we can check without a key. Thieves Town we've full cleared. We've as much as we can. Turtle Rock we've done everything we can. Skull Woods we've done everything I can. So other than a couple more overworld locations like Zora, I think Ice Palace is all that's left, and that those are the 2 places prieR looks like he might be heading. Meanwhile, Devio's got that purple chest that I don't remember seeing from anyone else.
Yep, I think this is the first we're going to see the purple chest. Here's the big key of Skull Woods for 1 whole item. And we are going to find out what Zora's holding.
I don't know about you, but I would absolutely grab that half magic right now. Especially knowing that they have to go into ice, it seems. You want that magic.
Most definitely. I would definitely go grab that. It is a small key to Turtle Rock. So, yeah, something they're going to need, but not something they need right this minute. At least we don't think. But, yeah, that half magic, it's absolutely awesome when you're running the gauntlet. You can just pull out the fire rod and burn through half of the rooms. I love it.
And who knows, maybe they won't find another sword. Having that half magic in the Ganon fight always helps.
It really does. Yeah. They do have silvers, though, so hopefully Phase 4 doesn't take them too long. Oh, I say they have silvers. They will have silvers. Arboretic's doing the T-Rock dip. Gonna be able to get 2 items out of here. And just some rupees.
So prieR just threw us a little curveball, grabbed that big key out of the library, and it was Thieves Town. So I assume he's dashing straight there.
That is a very, very nice pickup right there. Thieves Town being right where he's at. He'll be able to dump in there and go grab 4 items. And a crystal. And I was wrong. Arboretic didn't have a key, so 1 item, and that's it out of... And Devio is going to go get the items out of Agam's tower. Not much in there to get.
But at least he's got silvers.
That'll make the trip a lot faster.
It's pretty amazing how close these 4 runners are. Nobody's has a clear advantage. You know, you can't even say somebody's in the lead at this point. Not even maybe prieR is, just because he's in Thieves Town and they don't have access to it yet.
Yeah, it looks like prieR does have a decent lead right now. It looks like Thieves Town's the next play. And until somebody gets up and gets the boots and then goes and gets that big key out of the library, it might be a few minutes before they catch up with him.
Devio's having some issues with mirror bonks. I don't really know how he ended up in the spot he is, but it's not working out very well.
I don't think he's going to be able to get back to the Dark World from there. He's not. He's saving quit out. That's pretty unfortunate. prieR's about to get to the basement of Thieves Town. 2 items down here, plus pick up the boss and take her up to her room. When he picks up the big key to Hera, there's another dungeon we'll be able to complete.
Yeah, so this seed has been a bit linear once we got that hook shot. You know, it sent us straight to Hookshot Cave, which gave us the boots, which takes us to that big key that was just taunting us on the library. So,
yep.
We'll see how linear this stays.
And he's also gone and grabbed the Ether Medallion out of the big chest, so whatever it takes to open Mire, he'll be able to do it. And here comes the blind fight after a blind pun. And watch prieR closely, because I'm pretty sure he knows the script for this fight. As long as you do it exactly the same every time, it's going to work out exactly the same every time.
Yeah, that was a pretty clean fight. But he only gets a couple or a bigger quiver out of it. So with the assumption that he's got nothing left. I mean, he's got ice. So he could do Ice Spouse, which is a pendant, or he could go up to Hera, which we don't know what it is, but he does have that big key. I personally would go to Hera, because I would like to avoid ice as much as possible, especially without the Fire Rod.
Yeah, it looks like he's got a little bit of overworld checking to do, but yeah, I think Hera's the play after this. It's like he's going to take Jeremiah back home and get a small key to Ganon Tower. And it looks like purple chest was a bunch of nothing. Here's one I don't think we've seen. King's Tomb on Devio.
We have not seen this or Bonk Rocks. Oh, and look what it is. So much for linearity, he got his flute.
Very, very nice find for Devio. He doesn't have the Ether Medallion out of Thieves Town yet, but you know, he'll have that soon enough. He'll be able to go over to Meyer and clear that out as well. And that's going to open 5-6, which opens Pyramid Fairy as well.
Yeah, I think I'd go straight to Meyer. They've got silvers, they've got plenty of health. They've got the mirror so they can check checkerboard while they're there. He's just got to hope it's not Ether.
Yeah, and Meyer's one of those dungeons you don't even need a small key before you go in there. All you need is the big key. The small keys are scattered throughout the dungeon, and you can just go on in there with almost nothing and clear the whole place out. 8 items, silvers make it nice and quick. So yeah, that's definitely the play here. Again, assuming it's not Ether. And it looks like we got fake flippers on OPTLawyer.
He's going to be disappointed when he sees that half magic, knowing that he's going to have to make a second trip up to get it.
Yeah, that might be a trip that gets skipped. You will be happy, though. I think, isn't there a big key in here? It's a big key to Skullwood, so not too much.
Nope, that's one of those ones just like Swamp that only gets you 1 item. But who knows, maybe that's our Fire Rod. I don't think we've seen it. No, we did. At least one person checked it.
And prieR's already made his way over to Hera, so we're going to see what's up there pretty soon.
He's got hook shots and the boots, so he can just hook shot right across, and boots right back, so that's a nice combination to have here.
Just a heart container and a big 20. Nothing special yet. Hopefully the boss is holding out on us. And he is going to be leaving 1 item in here. He doesn't have the basement key. It's the 1 item nobody wants to go check, just because that tile room takes so darn long.
Oh, he takes a fall trying to take out Moldorm with the hammer. I always hope that that basement is holding the basement key, so I never have to do it.
Same here.
Although I've never had that happen, even in an open seed. But the possibility's there, even in Keysanity.
He does get Troll Dorm down this time and gets a big 20 for his efforts. At least it was a crystal, though.
Yep, that's good knowledge right there. So we learned that, what did that get us down to for our last crystals? Either Eastern or Turtle Rock?
Yep, Eastern or Turtle Rock. And Eastern, they're likely going to have the boots by the time they make it over there, so it should be pretty quick check right there. Just go knock it out if you don't have it on your map already. And he's making the play to King's Tomb now, so he's going to be quite happy with what he finds in there. OPT picking up his boots and his flippers. Hopefully he remembers the library just like prieR did and goes and gets his big key to Thieves Town. And meanwhile, Devio's carting Blind around. Gonna take her up there and beat the boss. Not get a whole lot for it, but at least it's a crystal.
Yeah, and we know that going to Thieves Town could definitely be the play that needs to happen before Meyer. So I guess I'm glad to see Devio pick up that Ether Medallion before we know it's was going to troll him a little bit.
Yeah, and it does seem like a pretty easy play to make with Thieves Town being right there where you have to activate the flute. Hopefully we see everybody do that.
Yeah, it always makes more sense to jump into a dungeon when you've got one right there than, I mean, because the reason I was saying that maybe Meyer's the play is because it opens up the Pyramid Fairy. But if you can just keep doing dungeons and keep getting progression through dungeons, you're doing yourself a favor.
Exactly. And it looks like we're about to see that Meyer area for prieR. And OPT does pick up his key for Thieves Town. Devio finishing up Blind very nicely. And Arboretic's going to check the Bomb Crocs for us.
So the Meyer shed was empty. We'll see if Checkerboard Cave has anything good for us.
It's got the map of Turtle Rock. Hopefully he checks his map. We can find out where that last pendant is. Sure enough, it is Turtle Rock.
Well, that's good news for our runners to know that they probably won't have to complete it. We still may have to see them dive real deep into Turtle Rock.
I think that's only a second key for Turtle Rock, so he's not going to be able to get too far in there. Although it does get him to, what is it? Mimic Cave. So yeah, he can hit Laser Bridge from there too. Yeah, they can make it all the way through Turtle Rock. I know what I'm talking about, I promise.
So something that we haven't really talked about too much, because we really haven't had a need, is the pedestal. You know, Chad always loves to hear what could possibly be on the pedestal, and I feel like we're running out of options. We could find a mushroom or a shovel, but neither one could really lead to much other than a key. And then just a key, maybe a sword, which I think none of our runners would get. We can't have the fire rod there because we need it for Trinex. What else is there? A bottle?
It looks like it's the big key to Eastern. Or the small key to Swamp.
Yep, those are our two biggest things that we could have there.
yeah, really all we need is the fire rod and those 2 keys for go mode. So we're getting pretty close here. And it looks like Devio's over in the mire area also, so he's checking his map, finding out Turtle Rock's a pendant. Gonna be kind of happy to find that out. We get another small key to Turtle Rock out of mire. So there may be something in there.
prieR choosing to skip the vanilla big key location here in mire. Maybe he's just gonna go right back. Nope. We'll see if that comes back to cost him.
He might be saving that for last on the check of the top part of mire. That is one of the slowest keys to get, and it is easy to go straight to the boss from there.
So we haven't gotten much out of mire. We've got access to the back end of Turtle Rock and Mimic Cave. And other than that, it was a bit of a bust. We'll see if the boss holds anything for us and this vanilla big key chest. Devio, remember that key from the torch and desert? I don't know if you caught that. It was the key to swamp.
Yeah, that's a really big thing to remember. Yeah, they're going to need that key. It's the only key to swamp. Lets you get to the whole place, lets you clear the place out. And that opens a whole nother dungeon where that fire rod could be. prieR's done the light 4 torches, taking his 19-second break. See what's in the vanilla big key location. Just a piece of heart.
But now prieR gets to do one of my favorite boss fights, going to Vitreous with silvers.
Yes, favorite boss fight, assuming you have silvers.
Potentially least favorite without them. Unless I've got the cape or some other with boots, something else, I don't know. I haven't practiced that fight too much because I just seem to have silvers there enough.
Yeah, typically you'll have silvers or the cape, making the fight relatively easy, but when you don't have either one, it's not fun at all.
And all 4 of our runners are still on the Master Sword, so that certainly wouldn't help things.
Very true. Arboretic's doing the one boss where the sword doesn't matter, and finishes up blind really nicely. Devio's cleaning up the top part of mire. OPTLawyer about to pick up his flute. Most likely going to see him head on over to mire area as well. And here's the Vitreous fight for you from prieR.
Look at that, 0 cycle, perfect. Wasted 1 arrow, so maybe not, but good enough. So something of note, all 4 of our runners did pick up silver arrows. That was a bit of a question in my mind. I figured they would, but it just made sense that they would get it based on where it was.
Yeah, if you're just tuning in with us, the early part of this seed kind of blew things wide open. We got a whole bunch of items. Then everything kind of bottlenecked. It ended up being Moldorm with the Titan's Mitts. And then it bottlenecked back down to Hookshot Cave, where we got all the footwear in the game. And then the boots have kind of taken us on a little bit of a linear path that we're on right now. And prieR remembering his swamp key. It's good stuff for him.
And he's going to make quick use of it, it looks like.
Can't say I blame him at all there. He's going to be able to get 9 chests out of there. Just looking for the fire rod and 1 more key, and then he's in go mode. And the other nice thing about being over here, Pyramid Fairy is available, so after this dungeon, assuming he's not in go mode, he could go straight there.
That is a great point.
Looks like Devio's taking his 19-second break while the next room opens up. OPT's headed back into desert. About to get his key for swamp. Yeah, the only thing that's a little bit painful about Swamp is they still are on the Master Sword. All the puffs off the boss are going to take 2 slashes instead of 1. So, a little bit more of a painful fight, but not too bad. It's not like having the Fighter Sword where you can't hit him.
Well, let's root for that Tempered Sword then. And there's the Mushroom, which could lead us to a sword, but we'll see if anybody even cares to check it.
Now, in the position prieR's in, he's got 2 items to go mode. Do you go straight to the boss, or are you going to check the left side before you go down there?
I go straight to the boss every time. I like to route directly to the boss, and then if I feel the need, I come back, I do left side, and I mirror out. I think that seems to be the fastest for me. I don't know if it probably isn't the fastest, because I don't know if that's what the top runners are doing these days, but it works for me.
Yeah, really whatever works is what's best to do. It is a little bit faster to go and steal the key and do the left side first. You save a little bit of time. It's not a terribly great amount, so. And we do get the mirror shield for prieR out of Swamp. Does open up Laser Bridge. And OPT's in one of my least favorite rooms of this game.
Yeah, if you don't do it perfectly, you just sit around for a while, that's for sure.
Yeah, and if they get a little bit off sequence, it's just a hot mess up there.
So with what do you think's going on with Devio?
I might be taking a little bit of a break. Might be checking his notes. Who knows?
I know he grabbed that swamp key before he went in.
It's like he was just kind of thinking of, where should I go next? I mean, Devio does have all the keys for Turtle Rock, so he could get to the end. I think there's 10 items he can get out of there with his current equipment, not having the fire rod and counting Mimic Cave. It looks like he's doing the mathematically correct thing, though, and oh no, he is going to check Pyramid Fairy. This will be something new. We'll see if something's up here.
OPTLawyer is taking a bit of a different route than I'm used to seeing here in Meyer.
Yeah, there's a small key way back in that room in case you run out of small keys or soft lock yourself in any way. There's keys all over the dungeon. Go into any room, you'll find one.
So we haven't really found too much out of Swamp. And we're running out of places to find things. Just 2 more chests. And plus the big chest, which we don't have access to.
Win the shovel out of Pyramid Fairy.
So we have found both of these fetch quests that we were waiting on. We've got the shovel on Devio's side, and the mushroom came out on prieR's side out of Swamp.
And we see Arboretic doing the Vitreous fight right now. He's using the hold the sword out technique to keep himself pointed toward the boss. It's real helpful if you have trouble shooting arrows at the left and right walls. And prieR's gonna shoot single silver arrow, kill Argus, and we get a big 20 for the effort.
So with Devio filling up on blue potions, do you think they're going to head up to Turtle Rock? Is that what this play is?
It's got to be either that or ice. Personally, I'd pick ice, just it's a little bit shorter trip over there. And I like Ice Palace more.
Yeah, those are probably the 2 dungeons I use the fire rod the most in. But I think with the hook shot, the fire rod's less important in ice. So I would go there.
Hopefully we're not commentator cursing the items all up into Turtle Rock.
It's going to be decision time for prieR, though. He's got to go to one of those dungeons next.
Yeah, well, he's also going to have both fetch quest items, so hopefully he checks those first. Maybe we get the big key to Eastern. Maybe Eastern has the fire rod. And it looks like we're going to find out what that mushroom is pretty soon here.
Devio making the play on Swamp. Just a piece of heart in the mushroom. So prieR's fluting to check the shovel.
Yep, hopefully the shovel spot has something for us. If not, we're headed into a pendant dungeon.
Okay, what's it gonna be, prieR? Are you going to 1 or are you going to 8? Turtle Rock it is.
Hopefully this pays off for him. We see Arboretic picking up his half magic. Looks like OPTLawyer is the only one that doesn't have it yet. But he hasn't made his way back over to Zora with the flippers, so understandable.
And it looks like Arboretic missed the swamp key in desert. Hopefully they remember to go grab it.
Yeah, that's an easy location to forget. That'd be horrible if he didn't get that.
So prieR's making this play in a Turtle Rock. There's 12 items here to pick up. He can't get the 2 on the right side because he doesn't have the Fire Rod, and he can't defeat Trinex. So that means that there's 9 items, plus the one from Mimic Cave. And I believe we've seen the first couple, and they were meaningless. Meanwhile, Devio is making their way through Swamp. OPTLawyer is working on Hera. And Arboretic's getting Shovel. So my preferred method of taking out those pokies in Turtle Rock is the Fire Rod. prieR doesn't have that. The next best method would probably be Sword Spins, but with the Master Sword, that is also a bit difficult. So he's opting to do Sword Spins to take out the ones he has to. On the bright side, he does have the powder, so he can refill with those anti-fairies. OPT finishes up Hera, gets that crystal, and we'll see where the next play is.
Hopefully OPT goes off to Ice Palace, where we will get to see both places at the same time.
Well, Arboretic's going to make that play for us, since they didn't go into desert to get that swamp key.
Let's just hope he remembers at some point there's a key over there. prieR's about to check Mimic Cave. OPT is going to join Devio over in Swamp.
Arboretic's doing a little dance around these penguins. There's so many walls here that the hookshot can hit. If you don't hit a penguin, you can really go flying around.
Yeah, that's one I like to pull out Bombos and just be done with it. Seems like nothing of value out of Turtle Rock yet.
Yup, we have not seen anything yet. We've still got 4 chests that we can check. 5 if one happens to be the fire rod. Oh, 7 actually.
It's going to be a little bit messy with checking the big chest, though, because the mayor's not going to take him back to the start. He's going to have to beat the boss just to get back to the entrance.
So here we've got our first Ice Palace bomb jump from Arboretic. This is the first jump most runners learn. You've got a couple pixels that you can stand on, and you put your bomb in the right spot, and then you move down a little bit, and then you jump right across the gap. They seem to be right on the right track. I don't know if they're starting far enough left, though. No.
It's hard to tell anymore with all the custom sprites. I got so used to lining it up with Link's head and his shadow. In this sprite, you don't exactly see the shadow with, so. Looks like this one is good.
There we go.
He's got it. Great job.
When you're an hour 42 in and looking for a couple items in a race where I don't know Arboretic, I don't know how experienced they are on races, I know I'd be super nervous trying to pull off that bomb jump. Thankfully, in my one race so far in this tournament, I didn't have to go into Ice Palace, so I haven't had to do that yet.
Oh yeah, as soon as the nerves get up, any of these plays that these guys are making look easy are much tougher than they look.
prieR doing a bomb jump on his own of his own to get across to this chest. This one's much easier. You can just line up one way. You don't have to worry about horizontal and vertical.
And so far, Ice Palace is coming up empty as well.
Check out prieR's screen. He's giving chat everything they want. That's the ped check.
What's it gonna be?
Just cash.
Couch cash at that. It's not even a hoard of rupees. Looks like prieR's about to join Arboretic over in Ice Palace.
So I don't believe anybody's seen the Ice Palace big key yet. So does that mean... Do we need the big key logically to get anything from Cold Stare? I don't know if that forces that or not.
No, because we have Kane.
Right, because you can get downstairs without it, yeah.
And coming up on the iced tea room for Arboretic. Hopefully we have something, and it's a big key to Eastern. So we do have progression in Ice Palace.
That is what we needed, so we are not missing much. So it'll be interesting to see if these runners skip out as soon as they get that, or if they continue on with the dungeon, still missing the fire rod. Not that that big key really gets us too many locations. Just opens up 2 in Eastern.
Yeah, being this deep in the dungeon, knowing it's the green pendant too, so you're going to get 2 items, I think everybody's going to kill this boss. At least I would hope they give it a shot. It's going to be a little bit rough without the fire rod and just a master sword, but spin to win or grab the hammer and pound him. The start of this fight being pretty important. See if he can spin all 3 puffs over in the top right corner. Looks like he's going to get it. While he's fighting this boss, OPT's over there fighting Argus.
On the bright side, all of our runners have red mail, so that makes this fight considerably easier. Because these puffs sure can hit you hard.
Yeah, I think they hit for, what is it, 4 hearts of damage with green mail?
That seems right.
It's a nice triple hit with a hammer there.
Oh, be careful. I'm guessing they don't have a potion. Oh, they've got a fairy, though.
I was going to say, I don't think I've seen him use his fairy yet, so still in the clear here.
There we go. Just for some bombs. And the green pendant. I forgot about that one.
Yep, so 1 more item. He's going over to Eastern anyway, so it's right along the way. We got OPT's about to go pick up his shovel. prieR looks like he's doing a bomb jump back over to the other side of Ice Palace. There is that 1 bomb jump in Ice Palace that everybody calls the Ice Palace bomb jump, but there are quite a few other ones you can learn to save quite a bit of time in this dungeon. One of those being the one that prieR just did there.
prieR making a little mistake there, forgetting he doesn't have that big key. I hate seeing that text box.
Yeah, and it's very, very easy to forget about keys. There's just so much more to track in Keysanity. It's amazing that these guys can pull this stuff off. Whereas here we are just talking about the race, and we're lucky enough to have a couple people tracking items for us. Shout outs to our trackers. And again, if you like what you see from these 4 guys, go on over and give these guys a follow. Doing a great job running this race for us. And Eastern has the big key to Ice Palace.
Oh, yuck. That's like the worst thing they could have seen right there. Right after finishing Ice Palace.
That's probably the last thing they want to see while they're over there. prieR doing a nice job of hitting Cold Stare with a hammer and taking him out. Arboretic's coming up on the boss. Silver arrows. Gonna die real fast. 1 shot for each. 6 arrows total.
Looks like OPT didn't route Checkerboard Cave in when they came to do Mire.
Nope, he's just getting there now. prieR's on his way over to Eastern. Devio's about to finish up Turtle Rock. And arboretic just got a small key for finishing Eastern. Looks like we're going back to Ice Palace. I don't think he's checked Sashalahar yet, but prieR just did that, and it was nothing but 5 rupees. I think OPT might be making a ped check here.
Sure looks that way. Is arboretic doing the same thing?
It appears so. Unfortunately for arboretic, he's definitely not going to find anything he needs up there. All he needs is the fire rod.
So I feel like there's not much left for prieR to check. Do you think prieR's going to end up right back in ice? Is that the play? Is that his only play?
That might be the only play at this point, unless there's some location that these guys just haven't checked. I think everybody across the Fort Racers has checked every location. We just haven't made it back to ice yet, which is what we got to do, I think.
It'll be interesting to see if any of these runners don't go straight up Ganon's Tower because they need another sword. Because we're certainly running out of options to find another sword.
Yeah, and there's only a couple chests up at the top of Ganon's Tower, so yeah, that would be kind of interesting to see. It is possible to beat Ganon with just the Master Sword. Silvers make it a lot easier. The difference between that fight, instead of just slashing Ganon, you do have to spin attack Ganon with the Master Sword. So it would be 12 spins in Phase 1, 12 spins in Phase 2, 3 spins to progress to Phase 3, and then Phase 4, spin and 4 silver arrows. Yeah, and it looks like arboretic's picking up some overrolled items that he skipped by, and prieR's going to go straight back in and check that big key for Ice Palace.
This is a pretty big troll if this turns out to be the fire rod. Having them come in and beat Pendant Ice with Bombos, to then leave it to come back with the big key to get the fire rod, that's pretty brutal.
Yeah, I don't know if I call that a troll so much as I call it straight up mean. Is there anything else here that they can find that would send them somewhere else?
Temple of Hera small key.
Oh, and we don't have the Swamp Palace big key either.
So essentially just one big fetch quest that's going to end with the fire rod.
Please, game, don't do it to us. Yeah, arboretic still hasn't finished up Hera. Looks like he hasn't done Swamp yet either.
Right, arboretic has not gone back to desert to get that swamp key, I don't believe.
Yeah, that's going to hold him up for a while. Hopefully he remembers there's an item on the torch there. Meanwhile, both of our top runners are making quick work of Ice Palace using bombos. And there it is. prieR finally pulled that fire ride out. So 1 hour, 56 minutes, we finally have a go mode. Straight off to Ganon's tower he goes. Master Sword in hand. Not quite straight to Ganon. It looks like... Oh, that's right. They still have to finish up Skull Woods now that they have the fire rod. Maybe Skull Woods will be holding Tempered Sword for us.
So prieR's probably going to skip this chest in the whatever you want to call this, the back half of Skull Woods, back third. There's 2 chests. There's a chest in the boss. Probably going to skip the chest and go straight to Mothula. No reason really to check it unless you're really uncomfortable with Master Sword strats.
Yeah, he's gonna have the mirror out anyway. It's only a couple seconds to go down there and check that chest. Be worth it if it turns out to be a sword. There's still 2 of them out there.
It would absolutely be worth it if it was a sword.
I'd almost be willing to do that. Just thinking about this situation right now, that might be a check I would actually make.
Yeah, I'm pretty certain I would too. I've only done Master Sword Ganon like twice. I don't want to do it, so I would check it.
Yeah, it's definitely not a fun fight doing it with just Master Sword. Captain Duck, it was in the big chest in Ice Palace. The key to the big chest in Ice Palace was in Eastern Palace. The key to Eastern was in Ice Palace.
Mothula did not play well for prieR. Stayed up at the top for the good first half of the fight, but he still gets through it because he has plenty of health with the red mail. And he just gets 20 rupees for his trouble. But he does get his 7th crystal. In fact, he has completed all 10 dungeons. So we'll see if he hunts for a sword or if he goes straight up to Aga 2.
My money with prieR is straight up to Aga 2. Maybe you'll see one of these other racers go looking for a sword, but I've seen prieR a few other times. I'm pretty sure he can handle Master Sword Ganon. Not that he wants to, but I'm sure he can handle it.
We don't have too many chests left in the game that are even ones that are not available. So these 4 on the way might lead to a sword. I personally would check the 2 on the right side of Ganon Tower. I would go down real quick and check them, but I'm obviously not as comfortable as some of these runners.
That's honestly not that bad of a check. It's right there. It only costs you a couple seconds, and you're going to save quite a bit of time by doing it. Looks like Arboretic picked up a fairy or 2 there, making use of the bug net. Yeah, I think regardless of checking those chests at the bottom, he will most likely check the 4 chests up top until he gets a sword. We see OPT into Eastern now. Devio right behind him. This is going to be a close race at the top.
It sure is.
These 2 guys are neck and neck right now. And hopefully after they make this play, they go straight back to Ice Palace, since we know that's right where they have to go.
I have a feeling these runners are going to be within about 2 or 3 chests in the final collection count. They've all gone to about the same spots, and they haven't been passing on things. And OPT didn't get half magic. And we'll see if that matters in the end. It might, especially with Master Sword Ganon.
Yeah, we'll see how he does with the Gauntlet, too. The Gauntlet's a little bit rough with just Master Sword, no half magic. prieR about to make his way through the Gauntlet here.
Oh, that was a nice snipe.
Very nice snipe. He's making quick work of this with silver arrows.
Yeah, those four rooms went by real fast.
Yeah, that right there was textbook Gauntlet. That's how you want to do it every time.
And a perfect landmo too. Now for my favorite room of the game. The first time I saw this, I decided I was going to get hooked into this community. Using that Canis Amaria on those 3 Wizardrobes is just so great.
That one in this room he's coming into right now. 2 of the coolest looking rooms in the game. I think he should be pretty good as long as he makes it through without despawning Ganon's tower, which he didn't. So, it's just a matter of execution from here out. Hey, there's our big key for Swamp.
I don't think we're going to see any use out of that one.
No, but I'll bet
from anybody.
No, but I'll bet it's got a sword. Arboretic doesn't have the key for Swamp, and I think he's going to go check that first chest in Swamp.
I think the same thing. prieR made real quick work of Moldorm too. Checks this last check to find the vanilla 20 rupees.
Master Sword Silver Ganon it is.
So OPT decided to check a couple other overworld locations before checking that Ice Palace big chest, which might end up costing him.
Yeah, Devio's putting a little bit of time on him right now. Going right where he needs to go. And prieR doing Aghanim 2, getting the job done really nicely. Heading off to Ganon.
With half magic, he's got 4 bottles. I don't know how many potions he has. Hopefully he's got at least one blue so he can just pull out the cape and just hack away. Spin away, I suppose.
Yeah, and a lot depends on the Ganon positioning too. If he gets one square away from the wall, then those nice double spins come into play. And we're getting some grain advice from Ganon today. Ah, here we go. Here's what I was talking about, where he's 1 pixel away from the wall. Stand between him and the wall, and he's got the perfect spot now. This is the perfect spot. Stand right where prieR is and just spin your sword. Even if he's got the fire bats out, the fire bats can't hit you there. It's perfect. Now we see the cape strat. It's going to get some more double hits in. Wow.
This could be going too much better.
Sword. Yeah, it looks like OPT never went into Turtle Rock, so he's making that Turtle Rock play while Devio goes off and he's going to finish up Skull Woods.
prieR made such quick work of those first 2 phases. He's certainly done this plenty of times.
Yeah, you can tell he's definitely done this before. And prieR getting the torch glitch. In case you're not familiar with it, if you light that left torch before the right torch goes out, the right torch never goes out again. Looks like 2 more silver arrow hits, and we have bacon. Oh, nope. That's it. prieR is done.
With an official SRL time of 2 hours and 8 minutes.
GG prieR.
So in our other race, Devio is making quick work of Mothula here, even though Mothula is staying near those spikes, which you never want to see. OPT still has to complete, or is going to go through all of Turtle Rock and not find too much. And there it is, Devio's got that last crystal.
Yeah, very nice Mothula fight from Devio. And it looks like we got prieR ready to come in for an interview. I'm going to go ahead and pull him in with us. Welcome, prieR. GG.
GG.
Thanks. Hello, guys.
So, how'd you feel about that seed?
Just wow, that fire rod inside Ice Palace big chest. It was almost the last location possible, I think.
Yeah, we were thinking that was the last place you could go. So the seed started out pretty similar for everybody. You missed out on the pod big key while everybody else grabbed it, so that you had to double dip pod and they didn't. So everybody else had their mitts first, but you ended up with the hookshot first, which I think set you right in the lead for the rest of the match. That hookshot which led to boots, and you just took off from there.
Yes, Darkworld Death Mountain was pretty loaded with boots. It was helpful. Yes, always I try to not going into Eastern early. I try to not double dip it, but this time big key of Dark Palace was inside, so I had to double dip Dark Palace. So yes, the flute too. I did south of Dark World before, and it ended up to be inside King's Tomb, right?
Yes.
So I did bad choices, but I'm glad I won this one, and GG to the runners, and thanks for commentaries and to our restreamer.
Yeah, and thanks for that race. You put on quite a show. And your gauntlet, might I say, was impressive. You just ran through there like nobody's business. It was great.
Yeah, in terms of execution, I think I have nothing to be ashamed of. This time I played my game. This went pretty well, so I'm very happy with that, and I hope I will do the same along the rest of the tourney.
Yeah, your execution was definitely on point on this race, and I'm sure you'll do well the rest of the tournament. But it looks like Arboretic finally got his fire rod. He bombed the chest quite a few times after he got it, but he did finally get it.
He can.
But unfortunately, he seems to have forgotten about the key on the desert torch.
Oh yes, that swamp small key.
Yeah, so he hasn't been able to go there yet.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Swamp's not going to have anything he needs. He might still chuck a couple chests in there, hoping for a sword. Which we didn't see a sword from any of the other runners. Everybody's on Master Sword.
Yep,
One of the runners, Devio, right now.
Extra chests. He did the Hope Room in Gannis Tower. Didn't find anything there, except for the Tower of Hera small key. So maybe that's holding it.
Maybe one in Turtle Rock.
There could be behind the fire rod.
But yeah, behind Trinex. So, did you have any hesitations not having that tempered sword? I mean, you just went straight to Ganon. I know you checked those chests going up, but is that you're just comfortable with Master Sword Ganon?
Yes, it causes me no trouble, but for sure it's better to have at least temper sword. But Master Sword Ganon with practice, even silverless, there's no big deal. With some practice, you can do it just right.
Yeah.
Well, you certainly knew what you were doing, and then you got some great positioning out of Ganon on to boot. So that you made that fight look real easy.
I almost missed it. That torch glitch. It was just on time, but I'm glad that I had killed him pretty fast.
So Devio just completed Landmo 2. OPT is working towards the big chest in ice to get his fire rod. This is Devio's match to lose at this point. See if he can bring it home with the Master Sword.
Yeah, and like you were saying before, very high collection rate. I expect that from all the players. 177 out of 216, and we got to skip all of Ganon's basement.
I'm actually surprised it's that low. I thought it'd be higher. I mean, I know we skipped 22, but I thought it would be a little higher than that.
I left some like fetch quest items. I think there was a bomb upgrade and a piece of art.
Yeah, I sometimes I forget that those ones that you just leave sitting there, while you didn't collect them, you still did look at them. So there's definitely some that number is lower than it truly is.
Now, prieR, which would you prefer? A seed like this where you pretty much end up clearing the entire game, or one where you can leave out quite a few locations and gain an advantage?
I think I like both, but I'm not very comfortable in middle situations where that's not a jet seed, but that's not a shade seed too. You know? So I'm comfortable with 100% completion. So I was expecting to do the difference by execution. That's good to me. I like every runner. I like when things go well, but that's not a problem if it needs to complete like a great part of the game.
Yeah, I think in this seed, your execution definitely paid off for you, as well as a couple of routing choices you'd made earlier. You went to a few places and kind of multi-purposed them, whereas the other runners had to revisit a few places.
Yeah, I try to route it to prevent too much back and forth, in order to get the more efficient possible in the item selection. But sometimes it pays off and sometimes not. That's rando. Sometimes you can do almost all the overworld and ending up finding almost nothing, and that's it. That's about choices. That's about luck. That's about execution. That's why we all love this game. I think everyone has his chance to win against the best players. That's different from NMG when where execution is a key and knowledge. But that's cool. We all love Rando.
Yes, we do.
So Devio is working on phase 1 of Ganon with the Master Sword, while OPT is making his way up to Ganon's tower. Arboretic is still looking for that swamp key. He decided to check Trinex.
Yeah, and he's also checked the room, the light 4 torches with a fire rod room. Nothing eventful in there. Master Sword Trinex is not a fun fight either. You'd see him switching back and forth between fire and ice rod and the hammer, just because the hammer does tempered sword damage on him.
On the bright side, he does have half magic, which is nice.
Yeah, that does allow you to miss a couple times, which I definitely need when I'm doing Trinex if I have Master Sword.
Devio's using Cape Strats on phase 2 of Ganon and making quick work.
So, prieR, another question for you. How do you think the routing between Keysanity and Open or Standard is different? You know, like, how do you plan differently for the two of those?
I think in Keysanity you need to clear most overworld you can in order to get keys and items to full clear dungeons in one shot. In open mode you can much more easily do that without doing overworld, most overworld. So I think to me the key is to find the good balance in between doing 100% from the overworld and dipping into dungeons to find what you're missing. So it's not that easy, but I try to really do almost all I can with items I have.
So in our other race, Devio is finished with an official SRL time of 2 hours, 22 minutes, and 39 seconds. GG Devio.
Congrats.
GG. See if we can get him in here for an interview as well. But yeah, if you get a chance to watch the restream, you'll see the differences in routing just because of you trying not to double dip pod and Eastern and ending up with the hook shot where nobody else ended up with it and the mirror where nobody else ended up with it and the differences that made going forward. I think that was really the play of the game for you.
Yeah, as I said, it paid off this time. I'm happy with it. I think it's the right way to play it, but sometimes you miss some items. You need to double, triple dip into dungeons, so sometimes that's not the answer. So I'm happy that went well this time.
All right, looks like we got Devio ready to come in. Let me drop him in the channel with us. Welcome, Devio. GG, sir.
That was something.
Yeah, so what'd you think of that seed?
I really liked the part where you had to go into Ice Palace twice. That was the best. I thought about like zipping right out of there before fighting Cold Stare, but then I thought, no. It's like probably Cold Stare has the fire rod and some horrible twist of fate or something, so I might as well hedge my bets. But no.
That may have partially been my fault because I did say something earlier about you get Bombos, you go to Ice Palace, you get the fire rod. It was there, but you had to go there twice.
Yes.
Sorry about that.
Well, you know, honestly, it's what you expect at this point. I have a hesitation of going into Ice Palace without the Ice Palace Big Key, because that usually means something's up. But you know, there's no givens. I mean, you can easily find stuff in the upper part of Ice Palace. So
Yeah, and it looks like OPTLawyer just finished up Moldorm 2, so he'll be done pretty soon.
Okay, yeah.
And everybody's still on Master Sword. Nobody found a third sword.
I kind of wonder where they are. They have to be hidden, because they have to be in either Ganon's Tower or something that you got in Ganon's Tower, because I'm pretty sure that I picked up absolutely everything before actually being in Go mode.
Yeah, we're pretty certain we saw everything, including Trinex, who didn't drop one.
Oh, really? Okay, yeah, I'm glad that I went in there early then.
Arboretic in the other match was searching for the Swamp Palace key.
Oh, yeah, I got that earlier, and that was a load off my mind. It was in Desert Palace, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I remembered that, because I've made that mistake before, leaving the shovel on there or something, and that bit me, so...
So yeah, I think the only locations left are, all of GT and Swamp Big Chest and Basement of Hera. That might be about it.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if those two were in those locations, because why not, right?
Yeah, and the Swamp Big Key was in Ganon's Tower up toward the top, so...
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I noticed that you did hunt for that Tempered Sword a little bit. You decided to check those 2 chests in the Hope Room.
Yeah.
How comfortable are you with the Master Sword Ganon fight?
With Red Mail, it's not really an issue, and I did stop to get 2 blue potions, so I wasn't really sweating it, but I was like, I'll take like a couple seconds to check these at least. And...
Yep, OPTLawyer just made it to Ganon. He's spinning on phase 1 right now.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like Arboretic's checking a couple extra chests, hoping to find a sword. And he's going to be a little disappointed.
Oh, yeah. Swamp had nothing. I was a little upset.
Yeah, for as rich as the early game was, the late game was pretty linear.
Right, yeah, it was. Like, I figure I dislike Swamp less than most people, probably. So I kind of take advantage of that and jump in early, but sometimes, sometimes it'll have, like, one time I think I had like 3 swords in there, but, nothing, absolutely. There was like a key to Skull Woods, I think. That was it. And you don't even need those, so.
And it was even more than just nothing. It also had the fetch quest for the mushroom.
Yeah.
So I guess you could say Swamp was completely dry.
Well done.
They drained the swamp, I think, is what you wanted to say there.
Yes, they did.
Oh, I got 11 boss kills with the Master Sword. That's the thing that kills me, because I've had like a bunch of practice seeds where there was a seed where I had no sword for almost an hour and a half, which was a lot of fun. I think I fought like 2 or 3 bosses that way, but I was really happy to get the Master Sword early, but little did I know that I get stuck with it. But I guess, that's Keysanity, that's Randomizer.
Yeah, it's funny because usually these seeds where you end up checking every location in the game, which is pretty much what you guys check.
Mm-hmm.
You end up with red mail, you end up with butter sword, you end up with silvers, you have everything. But
yeah,
here we kind of missed out on the swords.
Yeah, another seed that I played, I almost had 20 hearts, and it was just like one of the later chests where you just climbed the gauntlet in Ganon's Tower would have given me the 20th. I was a little sad because That's like you know, it's like the booby prize or something like that. It's like, well, this is a terrible seed, but you got full health to show for it, I guess.
Yeah, I don't ever think I've hit that point yet in Randomizer. I'm sure I'll get there one day,
It
though.
was one piece of heart away, and it was a chest I could have easily opened, but I didn't. So that was a rotten seed. But
And it looks like OPTLawyer's just finished up.
oh yeah,
Got his Master Sword Ganon done with an official time of 2 hours, 31 minutes, 54 seconds. GG, OPT.
GG.
I just noticed what Ganon said after, or the Triforce room says, "Not done, comment, lol."
Oh yeah. Yeah, this one deserves a comment, lol.
That finish was just so rough. That double dip of pendant ice is just mean.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, I thought we were going to get to see one of those cool seeds where, you know, we don't have to check everything and decisions get to be made, but in the end, no, did a full clear.
Right.
Yeah, I thought we were going to get to see one of those cool
worried
seeds
that
where,
the
you know, we don't have to check
Eastern
everything.
Palace Big Key was going to be on the pedestal.
Decisions get to be made, but in the end,
that would have
no,
been, you
did
know,
a
the
full
perfect crowning
Right.
glory to this one. I was worried that the Eastern Palace Big Key was going to be on the pedestal. What is that? Because
What in
that
the
would have
world
been,
possessed you to go
know, the
back into Ice
perfect
Palace?
crowning glory to this one. That I literally had no other. What is that? That was the last location that was available to me, unless I had
Okay.
made a tracking error.
Okay, so I was just that slow because I also went there dead last. Hey, you know what? I freaking knew it too.
Oh, it's
I'm like, the moment I got that in Eastern Palace, I'm like, I should just go right back there. Of course, it's going to be in there.
It's always the least. I don't know how that. I guess it must happen to you too, but I always manage to get the item that I need at the very last spot, at the most inconvenient location.
I cleared out Turtle Rock for God's sakes.
Oh, that's rough.
That's what I mean. Like, you know, I cleared out everything in Turtle Rock except for obviously the torch room because I couldn't do it.
Right.
Yeah, I went all the way to Laser Bridge because I looked down like I got 3 keys. I can make it there.
Yeah, I did too at one point. I actually went in there twice. Well, the first one was just like, you know, 1 key or whatever, so it was a quick stop. But yeah,
Wow, I'm really slow.
I don't know. I try to be thorough and collect everything along the way, which, you know, works for me in some cases and against me plenty of others. So it's, you know.
I
And
think I went Turtle Rock before Ice Palace, no?
Yeah, I went to Turtle Rock before Ice Palace because I had the Turtle Rock Big Key. I got all 4 of the keys for Turtle Rock. The game was, the randomizer is basically like shouting, you know, go to Turtle Rock.
Yes, and that's that Mirror Shield too. That just shouts us to go to Turtle Rock, but there was nothing inside.
Yeah, it was awful.
Turtle
And
Rock was awful, yeah.
and then
Did anyone find a sword above Master Sword?
I did not.
I did
Okay.
not either.
No, none of our
so
runners.
there-
Yeah,
okay,
I'm
so
looking.
it's in Ganon's Tower someplace then, right?
It's got to be, or you know, it's like I was talking with the commentators earlier. I would wager it's in Hera Basement, and the other one is in Swamp Palace Big Chest.
Did we find Hera? I didn't find the Hera small key any place.
I think that was in the Hope Room or something.
Yeah, it was Hope Room.
I took a slight detour just to grab those 2 chests to see if.
Oh. Man, and I just ran right through everything. Man, I am really slow at this. Okay. Got it. Thankfully, I had a fairy because I completely forgot I picked up the 4th bottle in Turtle Rock that had a fairy in it because I died again.
Oh, I
But
didn't.
But I didn't actually die because I had a fairy, so it's
Right.
okay.
Right, yeah. I forgot I had that fairy too. There was a part early on where I had a fairy in a bottle and I let it go right before I death warped. Like I remembered at the last moment.
Oh, early on, I definitely death warp with a fairy, and then I'm like, well, I'm already here, so I might as well just death warp again.
Feels bad, man.
Well, I mean, at that point, I'm like, well, it's still faster now.
Yeah, yeah. That's it's. Unless you have like a red mail and a bunch of hearts, then.
Yeah, and I know OPT, you keep saying you're slow and everything, but honestly, you guys both got the big key for Ice Palace right around the same time. I mean, it was probably 20 seconds apart. That race.
I just decided to go all the way through Turtle Rock because I knew it too. The moment I picked that up, I'm like, I should just go right back there. But no, I'm like, you know what? There's 12 items in Turtle Rock, 9 of which I can get. It's probably more likely in there. There's no way the game would do that to us.
I mean, that's the right call, right? It just happened to not be the. I mean, it's the sensible call, but it turned out not to be correct, which.
Right.
Yeah, you definitely did the right thing there. I mean, I would have done the same. I would have gone to Turtle Rock, got my 12 items. But
I don't know if you noticed, but the moment I got that, finished Eastern Palace, I just stared at my tracker map for, I felt like a minute of not moving and just trying to figure out where I had left. No, it was after Turtle Rock. And I'm like, okay, I guess I might as well go check Ice Palace while I'm thinking about where else to go. And then in the middle of Ice Palace, I'm like, I don't have anywhere else to go. It's got to be here. And sure enough, it's right there.
Yep, I had that feeling twice. Because I needed the Eastern Palace big key and the fire rod. They're both in Ice Palace. Those were my go mode items. I knew it. I had everything else, and I was just like, I just need these two things, and I had to go into Ice Palace twice. Luckily, though, but I guess luckily, luckily in some horrible, unfortunate way, that was the last place that I had left to look. So if it wasn't there, then I made a horrible mistake in tracking or something.
Yeah, that's what I started wondering about, is like, okay, did I mismark something? Did that happen?
Which, like the last race I did, that didn't happen. I didn't miss anything, but I thought I did because, there was this item progression in the very first Swamp Palace chest.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, the last race I did, there was stuff in Swamp Palace, and the Swamp Palace small key was vanilla.
Oh, that's actually the worst.
Yeah. So I don't know about the rest of you, but I laughed really hard when I grabbed the Swamp Palace big key from Ganon's Tower.
Oh.
I was like, okay, great, sure, game. I'm curious what's in it now.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably a sword, right? To put salt in the wound.
All right, you know what? I still got this open.
Why?
my bets are on sword.
How much you want to bet it's like on the pedestal in Ganon's Tower?
Right. Let's see.
Yeah, I was wondering if Devio would go and check that after checking Hope Chest.
I'm going. Screw it.
Honestly, the thought didn't occur to me. I was just gonna grab those two and see what happens.
While he does this, Arboretic is just about to drop into the Ganon fight here. Gonna have to do the spins because, well, Master Sword just like everybody else.
Yep.
It's also a good time to remind everybody, if you like what you see from these guys, give the runners a follow. They all did a great job today. The Master Sword strats are no joke. Good job to everybody. Don't forget, follow the trackers too. They've got a tough job, and they did wonderful keeping up with us, keeping us informed, keeping all those items on the tracker for us. And the restreamers. Don't forget them either.
Yeah, I really need to get a little more practice of the Master Sword Ganon. I need to get that practice ROM or whatever.
Yeah, the practice round's really, really good. It lets you go practice whatever you want, whenever you want, whatever scenario you want. It's great.
At least this wasn't Master Sword Silverless.
Yeah, thank goodness for that.
That's a little, yeah. I imagine everyone, I see everyone got the silver arrows.
Well, yeah, considering where they were at, I'm like, well, they're right there.
If you didn't see them, it's kind of your fault at that point, yeah.
Right. Yeah, I had that before I had the hook shot, oddly enough.
I did too. Yeah, I went up there a little early.
Yeah, that was the one difference we were talking with prieR about. He was doing his best to not double dip Eastern and Pod. He ended up with the hook shot and mirror before anybody else. So his first trip up Dark Death Mountain, he was able to get both the boots and the flipper, whereas everybody else couldn't get Hookshot Cave, so just ended up with silvers.
See, I didn't double dip Pod at all. I was prepared going in, which was nice. And then I got the fifth key in there.
Oh
I was like,
God!
oh.
No! It was there! Swamp Palace Big Chest had the fire sword.
Oh, that's good. On the plus side, at least we had the Master Sword.
Yeah.
You know, there's nothing quite like finishing Ganon's Tower and being like, where's the sword?
Oh, that angers me greatly. So no one was ever getting that sword, period.
Yeah, that one was gone. Forget about it.
Yeah, I think what the seed did to you guys at the end is it's just wrong.
Well, like, it gives us Master Sword early.
Yeah, that was really nice, but
yeah, and then it's like, nope, no more. By the way,
always gotta be, you know, when a seed gives you a lot of stuff right at the very beginning. That's it. There's something it's holding close to its vest, and suddenly, you know, poison daggers.
Yes, you know you're going to have a bad time.
Yeah.
Very much so. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I've seen that too many times in the past. You get so much stuff early on, and then it's just the ice rod, which can be anywhere. It hides itself somewhere stupid.
I was gonna go check Ganon's Tower for the other one, but no, forget it. I don't want to know. Did anyone check Lamp, like Bonk Lamp?
No, I didn't. In Ganon's Tower, no.
Yeah, I don't think anybody checked it.
Yeah, when I got that.
Arboretic finishing up right now.
Oh.
Hey.
About to walk through the door. And he's got an official SRL time of 2 hours, 44 minutes, 19 seconds. GG Arboretic. Gonna try to get him in for a quick interview.
Anyway, good game, man.
Yeah, it was.
Now you gotta win the whole thing. You understand this?
Well, now that you said it, okay. Yeah.
Hello.
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 Welcome,
GG,
Arboretic. GG.
GG.
Yep. Well, I made several mistakes, but mostly one big one.
Yeah, we were hoping you'd remember that key was there.
Uh-huh.
Oh, it's Desert Palace?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
I had it written down on my notes. I just never read them.
Yeah, I accidentally cleared on my tracker, and this thing's new for me, so I couldn't figure out how to untrack it. So I like grabbed like this envelope
now that you
next to
said
me
it,
and just
okay.
wrote on it real
Yeah.
large. Key in Desert Palace.
Welcome on,
Turns
man.
out was really important.
Yeah. Well, I made several mistakes, but mostly one big one. Yep.
I'll bet I
Yeah,
Well, that was
we
fun.
we were hoping you'd remember that.
Yeah, well, I think
was
everyone
there.
made some mistakes on this one.
Oh,
It's hard to, because like the
Yep.
the seed
had it
forced you to
written
do
down
some
on my
pretty
notes, I
loony
just never
stuff.
read them.
Yeah, I accidentally
Yeah,
saw
like,
them on my
at this point, I don't even remember what was real and what was like what I thought the key had to be in.
Mm-hmm.
next to me and just wrote on it real large.
Like I forget. Like, did you have to go to Ice Palace to get the Eastern Palace key, and then the Eastern Palace to get the Ice Palace key, and then back to Ice Palace?
To get the
Yes.
fire rod, yes,
Yep.
that is correct.
Yes.
That really happened.
That
Yep.
actually was a thing.
Yeah, well, I think everyone
Uh-huh.
made some mistakes on this one.
And then just to throw some salt on the wound, OPTLawyer did us the favor of checking the Swamp Palace big key that you picked up in the top of Ganon's tower did lead to a
Yeah,
sword
like,
upgrade.
At this point, I don't even remember what was real. Oh and man, what yeah. was, like, what I Yeah, I was thought kind of the doomed anyway key because had I to be don't in. have enough practice beating Ganon with a Master Sword. Like, I forget, like, did you have to go to Ice Palace to get the
Yeah,
Eastern Palace key, and then Eastern Palace to get the Ice Palace
The
key,
the
and then
moment
back to
I
Ice
picked
Palace?
that up, like
get
on
the
my way
fire
up the
rod,
tower,
yes,
I'm
Yep.
like,
that
that's
is
gonna be
correct.
something.
Yep.
I ain't gonna get it,
that
obviously,
really
but that's gonna
happened.
be
That
something. I had to check it. Sure enough,
Uh-huh.
And
Well,
then just to throw
GG,
some
y'all.
salt on the wound,
indeed.
OPTLawyer did us
Congrats.
the favor of checking the Yeah, Swamp GG Palace to big key everybody. picked up in the
oh.
top Congrats to of everybody Ganon's that's tower 2-0. Did lead to a sword
And
upgrade.
I'm
sure we'll see everybody next week anyway.
Oh,
1-1,
man, yeah.
you're still in.
Yeah,
You
I
can
was
still
kind of
make
doomed
the race
anyway
off.
because I don't have enough
Oh, really?
practice beating Ganon with a Master Sword.
Yeah, we're gonna have a few people are gonna be 5-0 at the end, and then we'll have a race off for a couple spots at
Oh,
4-1. So
I think like 6 people maybe are gonna be 5-0 by the math, but I'm not entirely sure. Something like that.
Yeah, it's
That's
either
it.
6 or 7, depending on
it.
if there's an upset
6
or
and a
not.
half.
All right.
And
Yeah.
then like 33 people in that race off for 1 or 2 spots.
Hey, you
Yeah,
know what? If I
that's-
make it to that, I'll be happy. I expected to go 0-5, quite honestly. So the fact that I'm even 1-1 is perfectly fine.
I know that feeling.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, Keysanity makes fools of us all, honestly.
yeah, this seems to be like one of those modes. Anybody can win. Anything can happen.
Mm-hmm.
It's just all it takes is one item in one weird spot, and you're 20 minutes ahead of the next guy.
Yep.
That all being said, though, you guys weren't terribly far apart between the four of you.
Yeah, that's pretty nice. I guess that means that the everyone was getting trolled about the same amount. You like to see that.
Yeah, I think everybody checked just about every location there was. It's been pretty consistency in the collection rates on everybody. So,
Yep.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Though I'm gonna guess other people didn't go all the way through Turtle Rock twice.
Not twice. I went through the whole place once, but
Yeah, I went
Once
through.
was enough.
I went through it once, and then before that, I stopped in with like one key to like check out some stuff because I was there. So
right, exactly.
not a huge deal, but also technically double dip.
Double dip Tower of Hera. And we never found the small key for it, so
Oh yeah,
I was up at Death Mountain. I just walked in and grabbed the first 2 locations and left. But
that was actually in Ganon's Tower, the Hope Room. I picked it up.
oh right, you said that earlier. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's probably where the other sword upgrade is. I'm not checking.
Well, I mean, like Tower of Hera, double. If you go in there and get the first 2 chests, that barely counts. I would say. I just consider that part of the overworld routing, basically.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's straight on the way to top of Death Mountain.
Mm-hmm.
So well, that's not a big accomplishment to double dip it. So you have to take the 2 locations, 2 chests inside error.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think it's always the right play.
I forget. Where was the mirror?
There was Big Chest in Desert.
Desert Palace, yeah.
That's right. Because I got that, and then I didn't immediately use it to get out of Desert after I'd already gone back in there. Not that that lost me a ton of time, just,
Right.
little things. I didn't check a Guinness's cave for like ever until I got the book and went over to Desert Palace. And the whole time I'm like, he's gonna have something, watch, and then he didn't.
Yeah, I usually wait on him.
I didn't. Did anyone get half magic? Because I totally didn't get it.
I did.
Yeah, I went and got it.
Because what happened was I got so impatient looking for the flippers that I finally just fake flippered up to Zora and whatnot, got everything else, and then saw it was there. I'm like, well, I'm never coming back for that, so oh well. And then immediately went to Hookshot Cave and found the flippers, and I was just like, you've got to be kidding. Of course!
Yeah, I went up there a second time just because I didn't have the money to pay Zora, and I was like, he's not going to have anything, but I can pick up the half magic while there, so...
Right.
It was like, eh.
Well, thank you guys for commentating, and thank you, restreamers and trackers and everything. Love the show. I'll be sure to watch at some point.
Yeah, thank you for hosting. Great tournament.
Yeah, there's a lot of hard work went into this, and you just gotta, respect the people who made it all happen. It's take it for granted, but you guys work real hard to put on a excellent show for people. So respect.
Absolutely.
Big thanks to you guys too. I mean, if it wasn't for the racers, we wouldn't have a show to put on right now. You guys all did an awesome job today. But yeah, shout outs to all the racers, the trackers, the restreamers, everybody involved with the tournament. Great job today. You guys put on an excellent show. Want to thank all of you. And reminder to all our viewers, if you like what you see, make sure to toss the runners, the streamers, the trackers, toss them all a follow on Twitch.
All right, GG.
Yep, I think this is going to about wrap it up for us. Anybody have any final comments for us?
I'm never going back into Ice Palace again. Ever.
I can't say I blame you.
Ice Palace, you used to be so nice, but
I know, right?
You had to go and you do this.
That's the worst. I mean, the worst thing of it is that like at that point I had 2 items left for go mode. As it turns out, they were both in Ice Palace. You just had to leave Ice Palace and go back into it.
I fought Cold Stare thinking for sure that the Fire Rod was gonna be on, but nope.
That green pendant too. Worst thing is, I actually went and beat Eastern Palace, left, and like, oh right, the green pendant. Had to go back.
Oh yeah, I got that on the way, but of course nothing.
Yeah, nothing.
Why would it?
All right, guys.
Busy, man.
GG's all around.
GG's everybody.
GG's and best luck to the rest of the journey.
Yeah, good luck to everybody going forward. And I think we're going to sign off here. I'm Hacksaw, and my co-commentator, Scooty Puff Jr.
Yep. Have a good evening.
Yep.
Good night, everybody.